Beyond the skies, you and I, we're breaking bounds on Baobab.
Thank you so much, all who've made time to be here with us today. My name is Melvin Muna. I'll be leading the discussion today as we finalize the remote work workshop for 6 with the fourth and final session. So today we'll be continuing our discussions under the theme, Your Path into Remote Work, and we will be exploring the final most actionable path into remote work. So welcome all of you. I can see we have Theodore from Ghana and all of you who've made time to be here with us. Welcome. We are so happy to have you here today. And I believe it will be a transformative session for you guys. So before I continue, just to inform you guys that we have live French interpretation of this session. So if you are a French speaker, you're comfortable taking in your learning lessons and content through French, switch to the French channel, click on more, find the globe icon, it's written interpretation, and then move to the French channel. If you are comfortable in English, please stay on the main channel and you'll get to enjoy this session from here. Then I have a couple of announcements to make. To start with is about the winner of the Remote Opportunities Workshop, the person who will receive one-on-one mentorship with myself on how to excel and thrive in remote work. So that winner will be announced on the Baobab platform. He'll be announced, he or she, the one who emerges with the most points through the challenges that we've set throughout this phase will be announced on the Baobab platform. So I'd like to ask all of you who are here today, go and register on the Baobab platform so that you can see that announcement when it's made. That announcement will be made on Wednesday at 3 p.m. GMT on the Baobab platform from the Baobab official account. So that post will come from the Baobab channel. So please register on the Baobab platform. I believe the link to registration is being shared right now on the chat. Go ahead and register there after this session. And it's quite simple. If you don't manage to find the link, because it probably disappear in the chat, just search Baobab platform, the Mastercard Foundation Baobab platform on Google, and then click on the first search result to take you to the Baobab platform. If you can see my background, that is the logo right there that will come across of a Baobab tree with some green top. So go to Baobab, register on Baobab so that you can get that announcement when it's made, and also so that you can connect with other young Africans like yourselves and find the opportunities that the platform provides and carries for young people like yourself. So let's join the Baobab platform. And then I also like to give a shout out to a couple of people. These are the people who have been engaging with the personal declaration form. So with that personal declaration form, you make a declaration that you will do whatever it takes to become the most ideal candidate for the remote roles that you'll apply for. And so far, that form, we've had 3 sessions, but only 7 people have filled it. So the numbers are not quite good, but I believe from this session, they'll increase. And I just want to give a shout out to Beryl Nyarangi from Kenya. So Beryl, if you're here, congratulations. Beryl has filled that form the first time, and she filled it correctly. She filled it so nicely. She made that declaration in faith, and then she highlighted the steps she'll make. So Beryl filled it, and congratulations, you've done it well. I reviewed your application and I gave you personalized feedback on that. Then we have 2 more who've done well. We have Nafisatu Ahmed from Ghana and Pamela Rufaro Mudenda from Zimbabwe. So the 2 of you, filled it twice. So you filled it once, then I gave you feedback that you had not outlined the steps you'll take correctly, and then I gave you feedback, you acted on that feedback, filled again, and you've now filled it correctly. So congratulations to the two of you. That is the kind of commitment we want to make. First of all, we get to the place of knowledge of what we will do to become the ideal candidates for remote roles, and then making that declaration. So congratulations to the three of you. You are the personal declaration from champions. So I will share my screen and then we will continue with the session for today. I promise you, you will learn so much. So if you have your notepad, this is the time to take it so that you can take in the notes. So congratulations to those three. I believe after this, we will have more people filling that declaration form. So today we are going to look at the fourth most ideal path into remote work, which is to develop a new skill for remote work. So the theme for this first was your path into remote work. We've covered three paths that you can take into remote work. And before I continue, something important for you guys to notice that remote work starts with a skill. It doesn't start with a job listing. I know many people who want to work remotely, their key interest is sending them job links, sending them where opportunities are being published. That is not how it starts. Remote work starts with a skill. I've shared with you my experience in remote work. It all started with a skill that I've developed and nurtured. So if you have that skill, then we can start looking at ways to get into remote work. But if you've not identified the skill that will take you into remote work, you will quite have a hard time. So we looked at three paths, and now we are looking at the fourth path. And the fourth path is to develop a new skill for remote work. And I'll be sharing with you what it takes, what it will require of you to actually develop a skill that will give you remote work opportunities. So just a brief introduction here. My name is Melvin Muna. I am a remote work specialist. I have more than 10 years of experience in remote work. 4 years of this, I've worked as a coach and a mentor for remote work specifically. And up to this moment, I've done 119 coaching sessions. So I run an organization, it's called the Kingdom Leadership Group, and it's through this organization that I serve as a coach, working with young people to help them develop their abilities as leaders and to thrive in their careers. So I made a promise to you guys, and I'm excited to find out if I've fulfilled this promise. So at the end of this session, we'll have done all the four modules, four sessions. I want you to reflect and then determine if you've realized these promises that I made to you when we started this phase, which is you'll discover your path into remote work. I believe there are only four ways to get into remote work. And we've covered all four. You must find your channel. You must find the path that will take you into remote work. And then beyond finding that path, you learn strategies to package yourself for remote opportunities and how to launch yourself into remote work. So today we are looking at developing a new skill for remote work, and this is what we'll cover. This is what we'll cover today. We'll cover, I'll introduce what it takes to develop a skill for remote work. Then I'll give you that framework that you will use if you're going to develop a new skill for remote work. And then we'll make that declaration that we will be the most ideal candidates for the next remote role we apply for. And then we'll conclude this session. We'll have the quiz, and then we'll use that quiz also to determine who will win the mentorship opportunity. Okay, so throughout these sessions, I've been sharing with you a couple of truths regarding remote work, foundational truths that you need to carry. And today we are going to continue with that discussion. So who will thrive in remote work? I want to set that foundation so that you can have this information as you're preparing to get into remote work. The person who will thrive in remote work is that person who has a highly developed skill And through that skill, they can meet and solve problems for clients in their industry. This is the person who will thrive in remote work. That person who has a skill, the skill they've developed to a high standard, and they can use that skill to meet the needs of clients and organizations in their industry. So this is from personal experience, and I know most people who are working remotely will have this testimony that they are succeeding in remote work because their skill is developed to a high level to meet the needs of their clients. And then the person who will thrive in remote work is that person who is aware of the trends in their industry, and they are quick to develop in those areas. So the nature of work, the world of work is constantly evolving, influenced by factors like AI, technology, influenced by factors like um, uh, employment preference among employers, job preferences among employers, and things like that. Even government policy is affecting work. So industries will change, and the person who will thrive is that person who is aware of the trends and they adopt and develop in those areas. And thirdly, the person who will thrive in remote work is that person who has demonstrated their skills and abilities through projects that they have completed successfully. So the market is quite competitive, and opportunities are going after people who have demonstrated their capabilities through successfully completed project. So you want to examine yourself to see if you meet these characteristics that I've listed here. You may not carry them right now, but as you are developing yourself, keep in mind that you'll need a highly developed skill. You will need to be aware of trends in your industries and adapt to them. You'll also need to demonstrate your potential through the projects that you've completed at a high level. Now let's bring the balance. Who will not thrive in remote work? I don't want you guys to find yourself in this field, in this slide. This is where you don't want to be if you want to do well in remote work. So the person who will not thrive in remote work, this is someone who has many underdeveloped skills. And in these skills that they carry, they cannot actually use them to meet the needs of clients in their industries. I remember when remote work was becoming a thing, it was so easy to get into remote work because back then there are tasks that you probably did not need a skill to execute. You'd be hired remotely to be a data entry associate. Just take data from a PDF, put it into an Excel, and then pay you. You'd be hired to do transcription. You don't need any special training to work as a transcriber. You just need to receive an audio or a video and then listen and write. But those tasks have been taken by AI right now. No one will hire you just to do data entry. No one will hire you just to transcribe an audio or a video. So for you to thrive, you must have skills that are developed and they can meet serious needs for audiences. And I've encountered this issue a lot. Many people reach out to me and say, hey, I have this skill, I have this other skill, I have this other skill, and I'm excited about remote work. That will be a challenge. If you are not focusing on one and developing it to a high level, you will struggle. So you want to ensure that you are focused, you are quite targeted in your pursuit for success in remote work, and it will be through one skill, and then from there you can advance, you can develop yourself from there. So make sure that you identify that skill, work on it, one particular skill, and that will be how you will make a name for yourself in remote work. The other person who will not thrive is that person who is slow to take notice of industry trends and slower to develop themselves in those areas. So opportunities will go to those who are relevant, in their industries. So take notice of trends and develop yourself in that area. Another person who will not thrive in remote work is that person who has not demonstrated their potential through projects. So you can have a skill, you can have a highly developed skill, but people will want to see the projects that you've done. I am terming the market that you are in an impact market, and the people who are actually going to land opportunities are those who can demonstrate impact in their work. This is an impact market. Market is what determines who gets opportunities. So if you can demonstrate your potential through projects, your chances of landing opportunities are quite high. Now let's get into the business of today, a new skill for remote work. So how will you find yourself here where you need to develop a new skill for remote work? This is how you will find yourself here. So first of all, you may realize that the academic background that you have is not remote ready. This is a thing that many young people have to deal with. They have an academic background, but it's not remote ready. You could have taken a course like medicine. You could have taken a course like engineering, structural engineering, or something like law. Those backgrounds are not remote ready. If your desire is to work remotely, it will not be through your academic background. It may be through developing a new skill. You could also find yourself in this space where you need to develop a new skill for remote work if the transferable skills that can take you into remote work, they don't excite you. It could be the transferable skill that can take you into remote work is research methods, but that is not something that you're excited about. It could be that skill is communication, but you don't want to work as a remote communications associate. So your transferable skills don't excite you. If you still desire to work remotely, you will have to develop a new skill. It could be your passion, your passions, your strengths, and your interests don't clearly connect into remote work. And that is actually something that I received as a feedback. Someone said, I don't have a passion that I can translate into remote work. So what do I need to do? I told them, please join the upcoming session and I'll be showing you what you need to do if your passions are not connected to remote work. So you could have a passion like baking, a passion like photography. They don't have a clear path to remote work. So if you find yourself in that position and you still desire to work remotely, it will be through a new skill that you have developed. Okay, so when you're going to develop a new skill, here's the thing. In all of these channels that I've highlighted here, you are starting from something that you have. You are starting from something you already possess. If it's a background, you carry it. A transferable skills, you've already started working on it. Passions, you've engaged it. So with these other channels, you are working from something that you carry already. So the path is a little bit shorter. So if you're not going to take any of these three paths, you'll have to develop a new skill, and that channel may be longer, maybe a little bit longer for you, because referencing my remote work career as a content writer, I was developing it since I was in primary school. So when it came to the time where I needed to monetize it, it took me a short time. It took me actually I think not more than 2-3 months, and I was starting earning from that skill. But I had started developing it way back then. So I had something I was bringing that shortened my time for development and entry into actual paid work. So if you're going to develop something new, it will take you longer. But I don't want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on these advantages here, these benefits. So the benefits of developing a new skill for remote work is you get to choose. You have the freedom of choice to choose what to learn and what to build. You get to choose which skill to develop. And when you're making that choice, you can make sure that the skill you're choosing is aligned with global demand. There are so many people who will have to turn their academic backgrounds into remote work, and they'll have to do a lot of work. They'll have to do a lot of work because the skills they carry through their academic backgrounds are not remote ready. They'll have to do a lot of work. They'll have to build profiles, and it takes time to build a solid profile that will give you remote work opportunities from a background that is not remote ready. So When choosing, you can pick one that is aligned with global demand. You can also explore industries you wanted to explore. It could be you've had a desire for so long to venture into IT, but you went and did finance in the university. So if you're going to develop a new skill, you can venture into an industry that excites you. Okay, so these are the benefits you get to focus on. Don't focus on the time it will take, just focus on the benefits of getting to choose a new skill, one that you're interested in, one that aligns with global demand, and one that opens doors to new industries and opportunities. Now we have AI. You can choose to pick a skill that will allow you to use AI, simplify your work, and things like that, which is something that other people who are building on what they carry may not have the freedom and privilege to do. So we will look at now the process of developing a new skill for remote work. Here's where now I'll introduce to you the framework that I've developed for developing a new skill for remote work. So I've called it the idea framework, and you can see it's not the grow framework. This is different. So the grow framework is for turning what you already carry into remote work, refining an existing skill for remote work. The idea framework is for developing a new skill for remote work. So every letter in that term idea carries its own specific meaning, and those are the steps we will follow to develop a new skill for remote work. So the first step is to identify a valuable skill. The first step, if you are going to develop a new skill for remote work, identify a valuable skill. Here are the key considerations you want to make. And as I've written here, you want it, pick one skill, develop it. Don't go ahead and pick several skills. You want to pick one skill to develop. So make sure that skill is valuable. And the considerations you'll make here are, first is that skill must have solid demand in the remote market. You have the option to pick a skill that has solid demand. And the second and most important consideration is you must be committed to the long-term mastery of that skill. You must be committed to mastering that skill to a high level. Don't just be committed to getting that certificate. And then from that certificate, you start saying that now that I carry this certificate, jobs will come to me. As I said, the industries are quite evolving. They are moving, they're developing so quickly. It could be by the time you finish and get your certificate, new technologies have come, new tools have been launched, and what you learned through your learning and development phase may not be relevant anymore. You need to still learn new skills. Okay, so you must be committed to the long-term mastery of that skill that you choose. After you've identified a valuable skill, it's time for you to develop a learning plan, develop a clear learning plan. So here is where you mention how many hours you'll commit to developing that skill. And the secret here is that the more hours you commit, the more time you commit to learning, the quicker it is it will be for you to get into remote work, because you must finish your learning, and from there you can start making steps to get into remote work. So a clear learning plan. After identifying a valuable skill, develop a learning plan. Here you just mention how many hours you will commit to developing this skill. I have interacted with some young people, and when I ask them this question, they say they're going to commit 5 hours a week. I know that is very little. If you're going to become a pro, if you're going to get into remote work quickly, you want to commit as much time as possible. People are committing full days to developing themselves, to developing skills. So you want to commit as much as time as you can reasonably commit to developing a new skill. Remember, you are running out of time. You want to develop it quickly. So pick a valuable skill that you will develop for remote work. So I want to engage you here. I want to, I know most of you are here because the topic has interested you. So you are probably thinking of developing a new skill for remote work. So if you are going to develop a new skill for remote work, which industry will you choose? Which industry will you choose? And within that industry, which specific role or which specific skill stands out to you? Which one do you want to pursue? For instance, you can say, I'm excited, the tech industry excites me, and the skill that excites me in tech is data analytics. You can say, the industry that appeals to me is digital marketing, and the skill that stands out to me is social media management, something like that. You can say the field that interests me is learning and development. The skill that I want is to become a coach, a career coach. So use the chat and then mention which industry appeals to you. Within that industry, which skill stands out, and then mention what motivates you to pursue that skill. I want to hear some of your motivations, and I'll advise I'll advise you on which motivations you need to carry. Michael is saying, tech industry, I want to become a cloud engineer. Oh, beautiful. Say Patty, I believe saying your name correctly, saying cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is in tech. So anyone else who wants to share which industry? Celion is saying tech, web developer, wonderful. And I want to hear the motivations. What is motivating you to pursue these fields? What is motivating you to pursue these fields? I can see Apollo is saying data analytics. Rachel is saying data analytics. I can see you're all aiming for tech. What is motivating you to pursue these industries that you've mentioned and these skills that you've highlighted? Probably Apollo data analytics can share in the chat. What is exciting you? Justin is saying graphic design. What is motivating you, Justin, to say graphic design? Apollo is saying, I'm a researcher and passionate about data-driven research. That's a nice motivation. Alphonse is saying tech, data analytics, making a good impact using my skill. Is excited to use that skill to make an impact. That is a nice motivation. Neon is saying, I'm in tech, I'm interested in software development, I'm motivated by software engineering because I love coding and documenting my journey. So you guys carry very solid motivations. I just want to put it right there that money should never be a motivation. I know some people are motivated to pursue certain skills because they believe those skills carry good pays and good salaries. While that might be the case, I want to advise you young people that money should not be something that you chase. Money and money is supposed to respond. Money responds to what you carry. When you carry something valuable, when you carry something that people need, money will come to you. So don't be motivated by money when pursuing opportunities. Be motivated by things like interest, like you've mentioned. Scolen Bogo is saying executive assistant because she's good. No, I don't want good in organizing and customer service. So yeah, those are the motivations you want to carry. Otherwise, if it's money that's motivating you to pursue something, you will struggle because money is not something you're supposed to chase. Money is supposed to respond and come to you based on what you carry. So when you take that step nicely, when you take that step of identification, step one, excellently, you will have identified a valuable skill, and then you'll have made a strong commitment to develop it. That is the outcome of that step. You'll identify the skill, you will live with a commitment to develop it. So after that commitment, here's what you'll do next. You'll move to step two of the idea framework, where is to develop that skill using free or affordable platforms. Free or affordable platforms. I don't want you guys to say you don't have money to develop yourselves. There are so many affordable platforms you can use to upskill in almost every area. So uh, look out for structured learning programs like what we carry at Baobab, and also ALX. I'm sure there's several ALX alumni joining today. So ALX is a nice platform for learning, and I'll give the reasons in the next slide. Also, sometimes there are fellowships or boot camps that are looking for young people to join. So these are also good programs for you to join, fellowships and boot camps. They are quite specific for particular skills. It could be data analytics, it could be software engineering, and things like that. These, I believe, are the best platforms for learning. Why? Because first of all, they give you a community, and that is very important. Learning with the community is helpful because you'll have accountability partners. You will have someone to reach out to when you're struggling. They can show you their secrets and things like that. So you want to choose a platform that gives you a community like Baobab, ALX, and fellowship programs. So how will you succeed in this phase, in the development phase, is by creating a plan and sticking to it. So you did mention the amount of hours you'll commit to learning and development. Stick to that plan. Stick to that plan, and then set milestones. Set milestones um, that will push you to keep learning. So you can say within this week, I want to have finished this chapter. Within this week, I want to have finished these assignments and things like that. Within this couple of weeks, I'll have shared, I'll have finished this chapter and things like that. So set milestones. And the good thing with most of the programs that I've shared is that they carry milestones. So ALX, I'm sure they have milestones and to keep you on track with your learning journey. And then something that I find helpful is by sharing your learning journey. So I know a young lady, Neon Budoni, she does that. She shares her learning journey online. I think you are doing, is it 30 days of 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 something of AI, and you've been sharing that on LinkedIn. So share your learning journey. So this is important because it will keep you learning, because you want to share. You want to share the next milestone that you complete. You want to share it online. It will keep you in that learning phase. So share your learning journey online with your community, and then make sure that program is hands-on. It should be a program that gives you access to training content, access to exercises and quiz, because it's through this hands-on learning that you will develop experience. You'll be able to develop experience and also demonstrate your potential. So make sure that program you carry is not just theory, but also hands-on. So when you take step 2 carefully, when you do it excellently, the part where you develop your skill through structured learning, you'll achieve the following. You'll master the foundational knowledge that is needed to perform tasks effectively in your field. You'll also have certifications that will add weight and credibility to your applications. So here you'll be competing with people who've learned without structured programs, probably through YouTube, through mentorship and things like that. But at that place of job application, you can stand out because you have an application. It may not be the only thing that sets you apart, but it could be the thing that tips the scales in your favor. So you want to take a structured learning program. It will give you a certification, and that certification could be the difference. Also, it is in that place of learning that you will know how to apply the skills that you've carried to solve problems that people have. So you are coming into the market, into the remote job market, to solve problems for people, to meet professional needs, and you'll use the skills that you have developed. So you will learn how to apply them through the hands-on projects they'll give you. And is this a good time? Is this a good time to apply for opportunities after developing your skill? I'd say don't do it at this moment yet. Why? Because what you carry is just the bare minimum. in the competitive market we are in right now, a certificate alone will not set you apart as the most ideal candidate for opportunities. That is just the bare minimum. They want to see more. Hiring managers want to see more from you. So when you apply at this stage, you will encounter so many hurdles, and you don't want that. So what do I advise you to do? I advise you to take the third step. The third step is engage. Engage in practice. Deepen your mastery through consistent practice and real-world application. Engage in practice. How? By working on beginner projects, by volunteering for startups and NGOs, by taking small freelance tasks, or working on personal projects. Just keep applying the skills that you have on real-world projects. This is something that recruiters are looking for. This is something that sets you apart in the hiring space, real-world application of the skills you've acquired. So deepen that mastery, deepen your capabilities through real-world projects. So if you can find a beginner project that needs your skill, please go ahead and take it. It may not pay you as much, but it can give you something that will be worthwhile in a few moments in the future. So you'll gain experience, you will gain through that beginner project, you'll get a reference. Through that beginner project, you will build your confidence. And those are the things that will set you apart when you apply for opportunities. So after developing your skill, you want to engage in practice through these avenues that I've listed here, by working on beginner projects, by volunteering for NGOs and startups, taking freelance tasks and personal projects, and collecting feedback so that you can become better. So this third step has several benefits, and here they are. When you take this step excellently, you will receive the following. You will increase your confidence. You'll be confident in your skills and abilities. You'll be confident in your ability to use those skills to meet client needs. This is something that you want to work with. You want to work in confidence. Okay? So how do you increase that confidence? Is through engaging in practice. You'll also have real-world client experience. Real-world client experience, and this strengthens your professional profile. Quite important. I know through your projects you'll have tasks and assignments and projects, but that is not a real-world experience. You want to deal with someone who has a problem, a company, an organization, solve that problem, and carry that experience with you when you're applying for opportunities. So that is another benefit and outcome of engaging in practice. And then you'll have a portfolio. You'll have a portfolio to showcase for the work that you've done to a high level. This could be the thing that sets you apart. This could be the thing that makes you the most ideal candidate for remote work opportunities that you're applying for. And then in this stage, you also earn letters of reference and contacts, referee contacts, to enhance your profile. So these are the, in the market you are in, these are the things that set people apart. These are the things that give people opportunities. There's someone who has better quality of references than another person, and that could be the thing that gives them an opportunity. So I was having a chat with a scholar, Tinashe from, I think, yeah, is at Oxford, and he told me he has experience reviewing reviewing applications for scholarships, and he told me that they weight references that a person brings. So a reference letter can have more weight than another one. So I believe that is also the case in the hiring space. Someone can look at the letter of reference you bring, and they say, because of this reference, this person is the one you are selecting. There's another person who will not even bring a letter of reference. And that is something Tinashe told me, that Many people have missed scholarships and opportunities because some did not bring references, yet they had good scores in other areas, but when it came to references, they did not have quality references or they did not submit. So that is important. Make sure that you are collecting quality references through your practices. And then you move from assumed potential to demonstrated potential. It's no longer assumed you can analyze data to tell a story. You've demonstrated it. And in this market, those who can demonstrate their potential and abilities, these are the people who land opportunities. So this is after you've achieved this, now you can go ahead and apply for opportunities. You apply with a custom and updated resume. You apply with a tailored cover letter. You apply with your portfolio that you've arranged nicely. You apply with your LinkedIn profile that is nicely structured, and the letters of recommendations that you have earned in the place of practice. So this, what we've covered right here, this will be the content for the upcoming phase. These are the professional assets you need in your arsenal if you are going to make it in remote work. And I will be taking you on how to build them to a high level. Okay, so you want to keep in contact with the workshop on Baobab and on LinkedIn, so that you can know when we start promoting those sessions. Because now that you've taken time to develop yourselves, it's important that you present your professional story in a way that establishes you as the most ideal candidate for the roles that you're applying for, and you'll need these elements. So we are going to take that journey together to see how you can build your profile assets to a high level. So now the ideal candidate for a remote job. So this is information you need to carry when you're applying for opportunities, when you're going after opportunities in remote work. There is something that will define you as the most ideal candidate for the roles that you're applying for. And these are the things that will set you apart. And you'll realize that what we will cover right here, they come after step 3. If you go and apply after step 2, you will be missing a couple of things here. So for example, when you apply after step 2, which is after developing your skill, you'll realize that you only carry the educational qualifications and foundational knowledge, but you will not have relevant experience. Okay, you will not have relevant experience. You'll realize that when you apply after step 2, you don't have a solid portfolio, which is important. And this is something that defines the most ideal candidate for remote jobs. Okay, so this is how the ideal candidate looks like. They have the right educational qualifications and foundational knowledge. They are confident in performing tasks and responsibilities at a high level. So this is something I need to tell you, that organizations are looking for people who are going to deliver right away when they settle in that role. So they are looking for people who are confident in performing tasks and responsibilities at a high level. So the person who learned that remote role is that person who is confident in this ability. They are also looking for someone with relevant experience in contexts similar to the job advertised. So this means that it's important for you to learn how to tailor your applications. And that is what we will cover in the upcoming session. Also, this person must have a solid portfolio that showcases impactful work. They must be ready to excel in interviews and assessments, and also they must carry credible referees who can vouch for their skills and impact. So if you are here, you want to excel in remote work, you want to make a name for yourself in remote work, you must purpose to be the most ideal candidate for the next role you'll apply for. You must purpose that you will be the ideal candidate, because that is how you land opportunities. And it's at this stage that I want to invite you to make that declaration, that I then declare that I will be the most ideal person, the most ideal candidate for the next remote job that I apply for. So when you make this declaration, keep in mind that you are committing to do what we've covered in this step over here, that you commit to collecting the right educational qualification, you commit to increasing your confidence to perform tasks, you commit to gaining relevant experience, you commit to developing a portfolio that showcases impactful work, you commit to preparing yourself to excel in interviews, and earning referees who can vouch for your skills and impact. So I want to invite you in the chat, make this declaration if you are really excited about remote work and you want to land a remote role. Make that declaration and then let it be that thing that drives you to uh, build yourself so that you can earn these opportunities. So I'm looking at the chart. I want to see those declarations coming in. This will actually be, you will realize that this is the thing that actually pushes you, because you have to start with that declaration that I'm going to do whatever it takes um, to become, to land remote role. So make that declaration, make it in faith, make it in belief, and then step out to do whatever you need to do to earn what you've declared. So Pascal, thank you for making that commitment. And as you've declared, may you receive it, everything more than in a way that blows your mind. May you receive more than what you imagine. I can see Shanice is saying, Shanice declares she will be the most ideal candidate for the next remote role she applies for. As you've declared, receive it, receive more than you've imagined. Newton declares he will be the most ideal candidate for the next remote role he applies for. So make that declaration. That is the first step. It starts with making that declaration. Then you go and pursue that remote role with everything that you have. When you don't declare, you may not have the drive to do it. So Sonia has made the declaration, Neon has made the declaration, Ruth has made that declaration. And as you guys have declared, may you receive more than you imagine. So after making that declaration, your remote work journey does not end there, because when you apply at this stage, I believe when you carry what I mentioned as what makes you the most ideal candidate, you may not land an opportunity right away. But if you carry those elements, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. So you want to keep at it until that offer lands, in your email. That is when you can say that you will stop applying. So it's just a matter of time. When you meet those requirements, it will come. That I can guarantee. I can assure you. So you don't want to end after landing an opportunity, because as we mentioned, the person who will thrive in remote work is that person who is aware of trends and develops in that area. So the person who associates with other people is that person who will know about trends. You'll learn about trends from other people. You learn about trends by hearing the stories of people in your field. So staying connected helps you and know trends, and then you can learn how to position yourself in that thing that's trending. So why does association matters? First of all, it expands your network, and it's from this network that opportunities come. It also challenges you to grow. So you can imagine you graduated either at the same time, you took the same course, then they are working on projects, international projects, yet you are struggling to even land internship, volunteer roles with small businesses. You'll realize that it will challenge you to grow. And also, it's by networking that you learn best practices. I can share countless things that I've learned simply by staying connected to people in the work that I'm doing. You learn strategies, you learn ways to make your work stand out. So association, this is how you do it. You will, by joining communities and LinkedIn groups, also by following industry leaders, the people you consider leaders in your area of specialization, follow them, get their insights and things like that. These are the people who usually shape industries. So stay connected, learn what they're doing, and then follow it. And then also by attending events and webinars like this, you learn better ways of working. So that is how to associate. So when you associate effectively, you'll gain insights on growth and advancement from your peers, from your mentors, from industry leaders. You'll gain insights to grow and become better. You will discover smarter and more effective ways of working. You will stay updated on trends, and you'll also learn about opportunities from your network. So you're not just doing it aimlessly to increase your follower count, you are doing it to achieve these things here. So that is how to develop a new skill for remote work. You start by identifying a valuable skill and you commit to a plan for learning and development. Then you move ahead to develop it using affordable platforms. And success strategies here include being part of a community, committing to the plan that you set, and sticking to the plan, sharing your journey online, and setting milestones. And then after developing your skill, you engage in practice through beginner projects, volunteer opportunities, personal projects, and things like that. And then lastly, you associate with peers, you associate with industry leaders, and connect with mentors through LinkedIn groups and communities, online communities like WhatsApp channels and things like that. So developing a new skill is a powerful way to get into remote work. And while it takes time, you have the opportunity to choose a skill that is highly demanded, and then one that aligns with your interests and strengths. So you guys have shared your interests and strengths and things like that. So that is the benefit of choosing a new skill. So practice consistently, and then it will help you build confidence. So that is what I prepared for you guys today.
Beyond the skies, you and I